Transcript. Airline staff ridiculed a black man's accent, assuming he was just another passenger they could disrespect. What they failed to recognize was that he was their new CEO, quietly observing how customers were treated. What unfolds next will leave you astonished. Watch until the end to see how this remarkable story develops. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share in the comments where you're tuning in from. The New York International Airport buzzed with the usual chaos of boarding calls, security announcements, and hurried footsteps through the crowd. Was Elijah Brooks a tall, well-dressed black man in his early 40s, pulling a sleek carry-on bag? His presence was commanding, though his simple blazer and dark jeans suggested a frequent traveler rather than someone of significance. What no one knew was that Elijah was the newly appointed CEO of SkyConnect Airlines, a major U.S. carrier eager to experience his company's customer service firsthand. He chose to fly anonymously, with no special treatment or corporate fanfare. As he approached the SkyConnect check-in counter, he adjusted his travel documents and waited patiently behind a small family struggling with their luggage. Elijah believed that true leadership began at the ground level, where employees' actions spoke louder than corporate policies. He was about to learn more than he anticipated. Elijah stepped forward when it was his turn. Behind the counter stood Samantha White and Greg Allen, two SkyConnect check-in agents known for their dismissive attitudes toward challenging passengers. Their smiles vanished the moment they saw Elijah. "Good afternoon," Elijah greeted politely, his voice carrying a soft Southern accent from his roots in Georgia. "I'm traveling to Los Angeles today. Can I check in my bag?" Samantha raised an eyebrow. "Sure, name?" "Elijah Brooks." She typed the name into the system, pausing dramatically before rolling her eyes. "I'm not seeing any reservation under that name." "That's odd," Elijah said calmly. "I booked the flight 2 weeks ago." He handed over his booking confirmation. Greg glanced over her shoulder, stifling a laugh. "Maybe he's on the wrong airline," he whispered, not quietly enough to avoid being heard. Samantha chuckled. "Yeah, happens all the time," she added sarcastically. Elijah maintained a neutral expression. "Could you double-check, please?" Samantha sighed dramatically, typing slowly as if doing him a favor. Still nothing. "You sure you didn't mess up your booking?" The couple behind Elijah exchanged uncomfortable glances, sensing the staff's hostility. Elijah resisted the urge to react. He knew moments like this were all too common for individuals who didn't fit the preferred profile in certain environments. He could have revealed his identity immediately, but something held him back. He wanted to see how far the situation would escalate. "Would you mind checking again? I have my confirmation right here." He extended his phone, displaying the booking details. Samantha snatched the phone, examining it slowly. Guess it's here after all," she muttered, clearly disappointed. Before Elijah could thank her, Greg chimed in mockingly. "Next time, try booking online properly. Might save you some hassle." Their quiet laughter echoed in Elijah's ears, but he stayed composed. "Is there a supervisor I could speak with?" he asked calmly. "Why? We already checked you in," Samantha snapped. "I insist," Elijah said, his voice firmer now. Within minutes, the check-in supervisor arrived, a middle-aged man named Carl Reynolds, whose expression changed instantly when he saw Elijah. He stiffened, clearly recognizing the airline's top executive. "Mr. Brooks, I wasn't aware you were traveling with us today," Carl stammered, extending his hand. Samantha and Greg exchanged panicked glances, their faces draining of color. "Good afternoon, Mr. Reynolds," Elijah greeted politely. "I'm flying to Los Angeles, but I've had an interesting check-in experience." Carl's eyes widened as realization hit. "Let's get this sorted immediately." "Actually, I'd like to have a quick chat right here." Elijah gestured toward the counter, addressing the staff directly. "Miss White, Mr. Allen, is there anything you'd like to say about how you've handled this interaction?" Samantha stammered. "We didn't know. We were just trying to follow procedure." "Procedure?" Elijah repeated, his tone steady. "Does procedure involve mocking a customer and denying proper service?" Greg attempted a weak defense. "We didn't mean anything by it, just joking around." "I see." Elijah turned to Carl. "I'll need a full incident report from both of them, please. Ensure they're placed on leave effective immediately." "Yes, sir," Carl said without hesitation. Elijah faced Samantha and Greg one last time. "SkyConnect Airlines has zero tolerance for discrimination or disrespect toward our passengers. No one deserves to be treated the way I was today, whether they're the CEO or not. Days later, SkyConnect Airlines headquarters in downtown Manhattan was abuzz with tension. Employees filed into the company's state-of-the-art auditorium, whispering nervously. A sudden corporate meeting, called by the new CEO, was no small event, especially after rumors of a serious incident at the airport had spread rapidly. The room fell silent when Elijah Brooks stepped onto the stage, his expression calm but resolute. He adjusted the microphone and scanned the crowd, recognizing faces from various departments. This wasn't just another executive briefing, it was a reckoning. "Good afternoon," Elijah began, his deep voice resonating through the hall. "I've called this meeting to address a situation that goes against everything SkyConnect Airlines stands for." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. "Last week at our check-in counter in New York, 2 of our employees displayed behavior that was not only unprofessional, but discriminatory." Whispers intensified among the audience. "I was the passenger they disrespected," Elijah continued, his voice steady but firm. "I arrived, dressed casually, speaking with my natural accent, and that was enough for them to assume I was less deserving of respect." Gasps echoed through the room. Department managers exchanged uneasy glances, realizing how deeply the incident had shaken the company's leadership. "They mocked my accent, questioned my booking, and treated me as if I didn't belong," Elijah added. "But this isn't about me being the CEO. This is about how they might have treated countless others when no one important was watching." He locked eyes with the audience, making sure every word hit its mark. SkyConnect Airlines serves passengers from every background, nationality, and culture. Discrimination, whether it's based on appearance, language, or anything else, has no place here. Elijah gestured toward the back of the room where Carl Reynolds, the airport supervisor, stood at attention. "I want to thank Carl for handling the situation with integrity." He reported the incident immediately, allowing us to act swiftly. Turning back to the employees, Elijah concluded with intensity. "From this day forward, there will be no room for complacency. We are launching a company-wide initiative on diversity, inclusion, and respect, with training mandatory for every employee, from frontline staff to executive leadership." The auditorium erupted in applause, though Elijah's gaze remained firm. Respect wasn't optional. It was essential. The message was clear. SkyConnect would no longer tolerate hidden prejudice or excuses disguised as company procedures. Minutes later, corporate emails confirmed that Samantha White and Greg Allen had been terminated for gross misconduct, and a new chapter in the airline's culture had officially begun. Samantha and Greg were officially dismissed for violating company policies. SkyConnect Airlines announced a new customer service overhaul, including mandatory training on respect, diversity, and inclusion. Elijah later reflected on the experience in an interview with a major news outlet. "Leadership isn't about sitting in an office. It's about ensuring that respect is shown at every level, even when no one expects consequences." His message resonated throughout the industry, setting a powerful example for change driven by integrity and accountability. Subscribe now for more intense stories that inspire action and challenge perspectives. Have you ever experienced or witnessed something similar? Share your story in the comments.